Hi, this is David Orlofsky. Welcome to the Parsha in 5, where in 5 minutes we try to give you an idea on this week's Parsha. This week's Parsha is Vayakhel Pekudei. Really, I should go for 10 minutes. I did that last year, though, because Vayakhel Pekudei was separate. Yeah? So the great thing about Vayakhel Pekudei is that most of my shiurim are based on Rashi, on Chumash. And there aren't too many to choose from. So you have a pretty good idea where we're going to go. So I'm starting right at the beginning of Parshas Pekudei. Eile Pekudei HaMishkan, Mishkan HaEdus, Asher Pukad Al Pi Moshe, Pasuk Chav Beis, Ubetzalel ben Uri ben Chur Lamata Yehuda Asa, Es Ko Asher Tziva Hashem Es Moshe. And Rashi comments, Asher Tziva Oso Moshe Ein Ksiv. It doesn't say he did what Hashem told Moshe, Ela kol asher tziva Hashem es Moshe. Everything that Hashem commanded Moshe, afilu dvarim shelo amalo rabbi hiskimu daito. Even what Moshe didn't tell him, Betzalel figured out. Shenemar leMoshe b'Sinai. Everything that Hashem told Moshe on Har Sinai. Ki Moshe tziva leBetzalel la'asos tchila kelim v'yachakach Mishkan. Because Hashem told Betzalel to make first the kelim and then the Mishkan. Now, if you look in Parshas Vayakhel, he didn't. But in Parshas Kisisa, Hashem tells him to make the Mishkan and then the kelim. And then in Vayakhel, he tells him to make the kelim and then the Mishkan. And he asks a simple question. Armelo Betzalel, Minaga Olam Lasos Tchila Bayis V'Yachakach Mesim Kelim B'Soicho. You don't make the kelim and then the house. First you make the house and then you make the kelim. Amaloi, says Moshe, oh, Taki, you're right. Kach Shamati Mipi HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Amalo Moshe Betzel Kel Hayisa. You are in the shadow of God. Ki bavadai kach tziva lo HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And that's why he made the Mishkan first and then the Kelim. Wow. A problematic Rashi on a lot of levels. First of all, are you saying that Moshe got it wrong? Moshe didn't know? Hashem told him, tell him to make the Mishkan and the Kelim, and he mixed it up? That's problematic. Second of all, as the Nesivos on Chumash and his parish, the Nachlas Yaakov, points out, the question's ridiculous. What did Betzalel make? He made everything at the same time. He set up workshops, and the carpenters were carpenting, and the weavers were weaving, and the dyers were dyeing, and the goldsmiths were goldsmithing, and the jewelers were jeweling, and everybody was, whiling away with a huff, 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 and a huff, 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 in the wonderful world of the Midbar, and everybody was making everything at the same time. And then they finished everything, and they put it into cold storage at Hanukkah and saved it until the end of Adar. So what do you mean, what did they make first? They didn't build a bunch of furniture and say, oh, what are we going to do with this? Okay, let's quickly build a Mishkan and then stick it inside. That's not what happened. The whole thing is wrong. Ela HaKadosh Baruch Hu told Moshe to make Kelim and make Mishkan. And he told Betzalel, make Kelim and make Mishkan. And Betzalel says, don't you make the Mishkan first? And he said, I understand what you're saying. Moshe didn't need a Mishkan. As the Mesilas Yesharim says in his last parak, a person who is Kadosh, hu Mishkan, hu Mizbeach, hu Mikdash. Moshe Rabbeinu was the Mishkan. All he needed was the Aron, and he just needed a place to get an Aron. So the Nachlas Yaakov brings an example. I say to somebody, your son's bar mitzvah is coming up, you better get a pair of tefillin. So I say, pair of tefillin? Don't I have to get a tefillin bag to put the tefillin in? Yeah. Get a tefillin bag and then buy a pair of tefillin and put it inside. Shkoyach. That's not important. Of course you have to put the tefillin into a bag, but who cares about the bag? The bag is just a place to keep it. From Moshe's point of view, the kelim were the important thing. to do the avoda. The Mishkan was just a place to keep it. It was a tefillin bag. But Bezalel said, we're not like you, Moshe. We're not on that level. We need the Mishkan as a part of the process. We can't just walk into the Kodesh Kadoshim. There's a whole process we need to do. We need the Chutzah Mishkan and the Mishkan and everything to work up to that. And he says, I forgot. You're B'Tseil Kel. You're in the shadow of Hashem. I'm in the light. And therefore, because you're in the shadow, you need the Mishkan first. I know you're going to make everything at the same time. The question is, what's the emphasis? For me, the emphasis is the Kalim, but for the rest of Klal Yisrael, it's the Mishkan first. You're right, Bezalel. Bnei Yisrael knows that they need a process. And that's why we come to the end of a Sefer and we understand this is a process. Once again, we have learned Sefer Shmos, and hopefully each time we learn it a little bit more. And it takes patience to become a Talmid Chacham and to become great. Give yourself that time. Chazak, chazak, v'niz chazek. Good Shabbos.